It's from Austria.
Yes.
Austria, Mr. Joseph Kundacker. Joseph Kundacker, he's president of the Family Forum Austria. And what is interesting is, actually I realized it today, he is also, in his own marriage really, doing some cultural rapprochement between Mozart and the kangaroo. He can explain to you why.
Because she comes from
okay.
And her parents are from Czechoslovakia.
Anyway, no, his wife is from Australia. Is she here in the... she is, and she's an activist also at the UN. So, Joseph Kundacker, please say a few words about yourself and your forum. You have the floor.
Thank you very much for being. It's for me an honor to be here in Paris. It's the first time to be here in Paris, and it's a great experience. It's a great opportunity. I'm really honored to share a few of my thoughts on this important issue of the family, and I think because we are married more than. Please help me more than 20 years, or almost 25 years. I'm not good with figures, please excuse me. But as I think I've myself has certain experiences in my international marriage, and our children, we have 5 sons, our children grow up bilingually, and I think this is also, for the children, we see ourselves as a very big advantage to be able to talk and to relate to the world. Through my work with the Family Forum and also being a partner in the Austrian Family Network, I feel that family is the key factor for human development, to create a culture of peace. Having visited different countries in Europe and beyond, I learned that family is of great importance in the life of people in the East as well as in the West. And so I maintain that family is the primary vehicle for rapprochement. Studies say that societies which emphasize family values and encourage strong family ties are healthier. There's a close connection between family ties and mental health. Furthermore, family is one of the most important socio-economic institutions in society. Even though strong family ties may imply less market activities, the family members seem to be more satisfied and happy with their own lives. We associate with family love, security, and trust. However, many people experience distrust rather than trust, insecurity rather than security, abuse of love instead of love within the family. The ideal of family is still deeply rooted in the minds of young people, but the realization of a family is perceived as being more and more difficult. So, without a doubt, we can maintain, looking at the family relationships, that the family is in crisis, in the West as well as in the East. Looking at the divorce rates, I learned Russia has the highest number of divorces in 2012, followed by the United States, by South Korea, and European countries. It appears that more and more couples are motivated by individualistic considerations, preferring to live together not in wedlock, happily ever after, but rather as partners just for now. Many people consider, if this partner doesn't fulfill my expectations and wishes, then I will need a new one. We have hastily settled for less in the short term and count the resultant divorces. But who is asking why marriages fail? So many marriages are not working not because people married the wrong partner. No. Too many marry for the wrong reasons. And often partners are immature and not willing to take responsibility for themselves and for their families. The family unit has become a changing concept. What it means to be a member of the family today varies greatly, making it extremely difficult to find a universally agreed and applied definition. As a certain journalist put it, everybody is talking about family values, but it seems that nobody knows what they are talking about. Considering the great differences in understanding of what the ideal of family is, and how it is to be defined and understood, how can the family be a vehicle for cultural rapprochement between East and West? Western people believe that the individual is most important. Western culture is characterized by individual freedom, individual rights and equality. But those noble democratic values have often been twisted to serve self-centered interests of individuals at the expense of other individuals. And family relationships are just seen as personal contract, rather than an unbreakable bond between parents and the children. The significance of parents for the development of the child is considered of less importance, especially what I experience constantly in discussions in Austria. Parents for the development of children must be put back into the public consciousness. The UPF, and I'm for that especially grateful to all the many activities of the UPF. The UPF and its founder, Dr. Reverend Samuel Monet and Dr. Hak Chan Moon, his wife, are contributing to this very important topic of the family by proposing a visionary understanding of the family. Family is not only the fundamental unit of society. Family is associated with the highest form of love, with life itself, and with lineage, the passing on of love and life. So, family is the heart of culture. The parent-child relationship is the core axis, and the stability of a family depends on the quality of the relationship to grow in personality and to be responsible for oneself and others. Seen from that perspective, family relationships fail not because of a lack of knowledge or skills, but because of the inability and immaturity of adults to be trusting and stable relationships. Second, parents are the role model for the child, for good and for evil. The parent-child relationship is vital for the development of the child as documented by research. So, a family can only develop when the parents invest themselves to grow to full human maturity, to develop their relationship. Because if the relationship falls apart, the family falls apart and declines. And 3, family is not only the problem. Family is also the solution. Many people believe that their problems are a result of circumstances, such as a lack of freedom, or a lack of opportunities, or a lack of knowledge, and so on. However, our human problems are relationship problems. It's not enough to think only about our own happiness. Can we be happy if my parents or if my brothers and sisters are not happy? So, mistrust, envy, and self-centeredness have divided the family. Trust and a life living for the sake of others can bring the family together again. Sustainable solutions can only be found if we understand the basic human problems, if we understand the dynamic of our relationships and the dynamic of love. If we want to have peace, we have to be peaceful. If we want to have human development, we have to invest again and again in the relationship to our spouse, in the relationship to our children, in the relationship to other countries, to other cultures, in the relationship between East and West. Peace and human development starts in the family. And because family has such a universal meaning, I maintain again that family is the primary vehicle for cultural rapprochement. And the UPF, and I'm especially grateful for that initiative, the UPF therefore encourages intercultural marriages to foster intercultural understanding and prosperity. And these intercultural and international marriages are a very practical way to facilitate rapprochement between East and West. To conclude, I want to share a small experience of myself. What I have learned in my own family is that family relationships won't function simply by business principles. I confess that I often had to change my own concepts and thoughts about my wife and my children. A family doesn't thrive on management principles, but on the logic of love. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Budak. Now we have heard a lot of things. Now it's your turn. Even though I know we started 30 minutes late, so you have a few questions, and we should